I built this mechanical keyboard out of Lego. I had to design these 3D printed adapters that fit inside the bricks, then go over the stems on the keyboard. But I also had to rip out the insides of a heap of Lego bricks to make them fit. Then I built a second one. I didn't design this version, it just came as a kit that you can buy online. But I designed more Lego keycaps for it and made a video out of it. And you all really liked that video, like a lot. It got me to 50,000 subscribers, so thank you. A common request that I keep getting is to complete the setup by building a Lego mouse to go along with it. And I'm happy to oblige, so here it is. If you don't like how it looks, you can just disassemble it to make something completely different. Or you can make it more ergonomic by sculpting it to your hand. But I think making it less ergonomic is way more fun. PCBWay also helped me to make a transparent version and a metal version for fun. I'll be doing a giveaway at the end of this video if you're keen. Anyway, stick around to see how I built it and how you can make your own. So my initial idea was to find a cheap mouse and then disassemble it to steal its electronics. Then I could just build something around it, similar to this retro style mouse that I found online. But I ended up finding this. It's a kit sold by Bamboo Lab, the 3D printer company that's going to be perfect for my needs. They actually sell a few different kits, and the idea is that the kit includes the electronics and the hardware, and you have to 3D print the rest of it. And this is the mouse that they intend for you to print, which is a gorgeous design, but it's not Lego. So let's make our own. But first, I need bricks. Since I use this keyboard basically every day now, I want my mouse to at least kind of match it, so I disassembled the wrist rests to steal their bricks. And I'm hoping that this will be enough to complete the mouse. I did it this way because buying the exact parts I needed would have cost a bit more than I wanted and taken a week or two to arrive. Now that we have the bricks and the PCB, we can start to play around and experiment. And it turned out the PCB was almost exactly 6x10 studs, which couldn't have been any more perfect because it let me fit these curved corner bricks and long slopey bricks around the sides. Then the 6x6 tile went right over the top, and it's already kind of looking like a mouse. Now that I know the size and the general sort of style that I want, I can do some design work. Maybe if I had a heap of crazy Lego pieces and was also a Lego master, I wouldn't need to cheat, but I don't and I'm not, so I'm going to cheat. I started by using my CAD software of choice to make a place for the PCB to rest, and I also put these studs around the outside. And then it was just as easy as 3D printing it, placing the PCB inside, and it was done. Just kidding, it took me 10 attempts. The first few I made some big, quick improvements, but the rest was mostly just tiny changes and adjusting tolerances to make it as compatible with Lego bricks as I could. But that's what rapid prototyping is all about, making mistakes and iterating quickly. And don't worry, these will all be recycled as well. And now to assemble it, just insert the power switch, insert the light reflector thingy, insert the PCB, making sure the switch and sensor line up. Then add the battery connectors. Plug it in. Find a battery. Insert the battery. Screw the battery cover on top using the screw included in the kit. Add the scroll wheel. And finally, add the included feet from the kit. Hi, this is Future Bryce just interrupting really quick. I was able to insert the scroll wheel because I could flex the 3D printed part a few millimeters without the risk of it breaking, but if you're following along at home, I'd probably recommend adding the scroll wheel before inserting the PCB. This will just reduce the risk of something breaking. I just really don't want you damaging your parts. Alright, back to the video. Now just flip the switch to turn it on. It actually fully functions as a mouse right now, but let's make it more comfortable. Using the bricks we scavenged, I had just enough to build this. These spiky bits aren't great, but I didn't have any curved bricks that would fit, and I could 3D print them, I guess, but I'm trying to use 3D printing only where I absolutely need to. I also had to use this holy brick at the front because I ran out of solid bricks. It bothers me a tiny bit because it's not perfect, but that hole is the least of my worries because there's a much larger hole that I need to take care of. Have you seen that one video of a person who makes a Rubik's Cube entirely out of Lego? Because I have no doubt that that person would have no confusion about how to fill up this hole in a way that would actually work. Me though, I'm going to cheat again. By first measuring the gap and then designing this. This test version wasn't great, but it told me everything that I had to improve for the next version that came out perfect. This piece was honestly a lot of fun to design. Trying to make it blend in with the Lego and actually snap nicely into place, as well as figuring out the optimal way to design and print it so that there were no supports or layer lines was a good little challenge. And with that, version 1 of my brick mouse is complete. It feels nice, I think it looks nice, So yeah, but we're not done yet because I also have some other versions to show you, plus a giveaway. First is this stud version of the top piece. I designed this so you can build on top of the mouse if you want to. And if you're going for a more cutesy traditional LEGO look rather than a smooth white look that I went for, then this is definitely for you. Then there's the aluminium and transparent versions of the 3D printed parts thanks to PCBWay. I think these are incredible because none of my 3D printers can make anything like this. Not going to lie, I'm in love with this transparent look. I've never seen resin as clear as this, it honestly looks like glass. I just need a transparent 6x6 tile to replace this one. I don't even know if LEGO even makes them, but I think adding it would make it look phenomenal. And I've never seen 3D printed aluminium parts in person either. It's just so solid, I love it. This aluminium version is mostly just for display because the metal is so thick that I can't actually press the buttons in. I also got this basic white resin set made up as well. A small issue is that because all of these were made with a different manufacturing process, the tolerances are a bit different on each of them. So on my parts and the transparent parts, the bricks are a good fit. But on the aluminium parts, they're a very tight fit. And on the white resin part, they're just a tiny bit too loose. That's the peril of trying to 3D print things that are LEGO compatible. LEGO bricks are made to such a high tolerance that it's really hard to get a consistently good fit on 3D printed parts. So what I recommend you do if your parts are too loose is to superglue a first layer of bricks directly to the 3D printed base, then just keep building as normal and you don't have to worry about tolerances. Thank you again to PCBWay for printing these for me. If you haven't heard of PCBWay, well, they mostly just make custom PCBs, but they also do 3D printing, CNCing, and have a whole range of other online manufacturing services as well. So if you want to make my brick mouse or anything else but don't have your own 3D printer, you can just upload the file to PCBWay, then select from a range of materials including PLA, resin, aluminium, and even titanium. There's also a ton of colors and finishes to choose from as well. Then it just shows up in the mail like magic. Thank you to PCBWay for helping out with this video. You can check them out using the link in the description. Let's do a quick cost breakdown. The mouse PCB kit is $20. The wrist rest bricks are currently $14, though this is only if you want to build your mouse exactly like my mouse. If you have LEGO bricks at home, just use those if you can. I'm going to assume that you have a AA battery lying around somewhere that you can steal, and the final 3D printed parts were around 30 grams, so let's say $1 in filament costs, assuming that you have a 3D printer of course. Or you can use an online 3D printing service like PCBWay. In a standard white resin like this, the parts cost around $5. You can also get a little coupon using my sign up link in the description. Plus, you have to factor in the shipping for everything, so let's say $10. But overall, it's not a completely ridiculous price to pay for a functional product. And if you want it for free, I'm giving away a kit that has everything you need to build your own, including the PCB, bricks, and 3D printed parts from PCBWay. Just head to the link in the description and complete the entry form. I'll announce the winner in the community tab in a few weeks, and then get in contact with them via email. This is just a little thanks for helping me reach 50,000 subs, but I also have some other exciting things planned for the future as well. Also, all my 3D files are up right now on MakerWorld and printables for free. If you end up making it yourself, I'd love to see some photos. But please carefully read the description before printing any of the parts, it does include some very important information. I really hope you enjoyed this little project. It was a lot of fun to create and share the process with you. I'm still getting used to making these long form videos, so I hope it was at least a tiny bit interesting for you. I'm not sure if I'll make anything else out of LEGO, unless I get a really good idea, like maybe a LEGO Game Boy or a LEGO water bottle, but let me know your ideas in the comments. Cheers!